It is a day of national mourning. The entire nation has come today as one to bid farewell to the greatest classical maestro in Sri Lanka, Pandit Amaradeva. We have a comprehensive report coming up, but first a look at the headlines.
Nation bids farewell to maestro of classical music, Dr. Pandit W.D. Amaradeva. Joint committee established to solve the Indo-Sri Lanka fishing issue. Talks in New Delhi a success. Dubbed the most unexpected interview of the US elections, whistleblower Julian Assange makes a startling revelation on the upcoming presidential poll. Will the law be enacted with regard to the bond scam?
The final rites of the maestro of classical Sri Lankan music, Padma Shri Dr. Pandit W.D. Amaradeva, was conducted today. The funeral was carried out with full state honours with the participation of the President, Prime Minister and the commandos of the Tri-Forces.
Crowds came in their numbers to pay their last respects to the remains of this great musician who mesmerized the country through his musical abilities. Religious leaders of all sects, political figures, artists and members of the public paid their last respects in this manner. I see him like an infant in the mother's womb. He is pure. His voice came from deep within his heart.
It should be clearly mentioned that the void that was created after his demise cannot be filled by anyone. His demise did not only create a void in the music industry, it created a void in our culture.
The whole world is affected by his passing. We will not have an artist of his caliber for years to come.
When people started reprimanding everything back then, Amaradeva stated that new things should emerge for us to move forward. I commend him for these ideologies.
The public was allowed to pay their respects till 3 p.m. today to the remains of late Pandit W.D. Amaradeva. The Tri-Sexual Mahasangha carried out the religious rituals to commence the final rites.
Anicca sankhara uppada. ඔහු ජාතියේ පිනට පහළ වූ පුජ්‍යලයක් වශයෙන් සඳහන් කරන්න පුළුවන්. ඔහුගේ වියවත් සමග අපේ සංගීතයේ එක් යුගයක් අවසන් වුණා කියලා සඳහන් කරන්නත් පුළුවන්.
වයලීන වාදකයෙකු ලෙස සංගීත ශාස්ත්‍රයට පිවිසි අමරදේවයන් නැවුම් ශ්‍රී ලාංකේය සංගීත ආරක් බිහි කළ අසමසම සංගීත පර්යේෂකයෙකු ලෙසද අපි දකිමු.
ජීවතුන් අතර සිටියේදී ආධ්‍යාත්මික ධාර්මික අන් අයට මඟ පෙන්වන මෙවන් ආදර්ශ පුද්ගලයන් මේ ලෝකේ තව තවත් බිහි වේවායි ඉතසිතින් ප්‍රාර්ථනා කරනවා.
அனைவருக்கும் இறை நியதியை ஒற்றையாக வேண்டும் என்பதனை கருத்தில் கொண்டு ஆறுதலை பகிர்வதுடன் அவரது ஆத்மா சாந்தியடைய அன்பே உருவான பரம்பொருளை பிரார்த்தனை செய்கிறார்.
අමරදේව මැතිතුමා ජාතික වස්තු
Amarudeva is a national treasure. He was there at the primary school of Royal College to teach us dance and music. We did not know who Amarudeva was. Dinesh Gunawardena, Andhra Bandaranaike and myself went to him to learn music. I see WD Amarudeva as a giant who came to shape the music in this free and independent country.
මම සලකන්නේ මේ නවීන ලංකා නිදහස් ලංකාවේ කලාව බිහි කරන්න එම සිංහල කලාව බිහි කරන්නට ඉදිරිපත් වුණ පතාක යෝධයෙක්.
අමරදේවයන් ජාතිය අවදි කළ මහා.
He was a great individual who awakened the nation. I believe his vision and his voice is immortal. In a bid to carry forward the work of Amarudeva, we hope to establish a special centre in his name. I ask the honourable artist to guide the government and provide the necessary advice in this regard.
ගේ නාමයෙන් විශේෂයෙන්ම අමරදේව කේන්ද්‍රයක් කලායතනයක් ජාතික මධ්‍යස්ථානයක් පිහිටවන්නට ඒ සඳහා අවශ්‍ය මඟ පෙන්වීම රජයට ලබා දෙන ලෙස අපේ ආදරණීය ප්‍රබුද්ධ කලාකරුවන්ගෙන් මා ගෞරවයෙන් ඉල්ලා සිටිනවා.
අතිගරු ජනාධිපතිතුමනි, මෙම ආමංගල උත්සවය ඓතිහාසික වටිනාකමක් ඇති විශේෂ අවස්ථාවක් කිරීම සඳහා ඔබ දුන් උපදෙස් සහ මඟ පෙන්වීම පිළිබඳ මගේ ගෞරවය
With the sun setting in the background, the nation bid farewell to this remarkable individual.
මල ඉරබතිනා සැන්දෑයාමේ ඔබගෙන් සමුගන්නම් අඳුරට ඉඩදී අඳුරේ සැඟවී අඳුරට පිටදී අඳුරේ සැඟවී ඔබගෙන් වෙන් වී මම යන්නම්.
On to more local news. The State Minister of Defence expressed views regarding the Awa group that is extorting the people of Jaffna.
Many people are talking about a group called the Awa group. They are a group who intimidate and extort the people in Jaffna. They are not connected to any political party or the LTTE. They are not controlled by the army. They are just like a biker gang that intimidates the people and extort them. We have collected the details about them. I know that people are expressing various views. They try to obtain political mileage. We have provided these details to the police. They are carrying out the required task with regard to this matter.
The opposition has called for a parliamentary select committee to probe the findings of the COPE report on the Treasury bond scam.
When this topic came to the limelight, the Prime Minister appointed a 3-person committee. That committee report states that Arjun Mahendran has not done anything wrong. The report presented by the Prime Minister has been proven false. We tell him this. It is better for him to stay away until the investigations are over. It is a crime for anyone to attempt to conceal evidence related to an offence. If such an attempt is made, then they could be found guilty of aiding and abetting the said crime. The Prime Minister is also accused over the central bank scam. Thereby, the IGP and the AG must present charge sheets on the investigations. Who is going to inquire as to whether these persons should be taken to court? Therefore, we call for the appointment of a parliamentary select committee for this.
පුද්ගලයන් අධිකරණයට පැමිණීම මේ කටයුතු ගැන හොයන්නේ කවුද? අපිට ඕනයි පාර්ලිමේන්තු කාර්ය සභාව. ඒ ගැන දිගට හොයාගෙන යන විපරම් කරන.
මේ හැම එකෙම පේන එකම එක දිහායි මොකද්ද? එකක් නීතිය බූරුවෙක් අනිත් එක මේ රටේ 3 in 1 කෙනෙක් ඉන්නවා කියන එක.
Rajiv Vijay is the son of Ranil's aunt. He says that funds generated from the treasury bond scam were used for the JVP election fund. Even on the statement of Rajiv Vijay the Prime Minister must be made a respondent if Arjun Mahendran made a statement to the committee that he did it on the instructions of the Prime Minister. The first respondent should be the Prime Minister, the second Arjun Mahendran, and the third should be the son-in-law Aloysius. Who is filing the case? The AG. There is no point in giving it to him. Those cases will not see anyone being penalized, and there will be no end in it either.
Addressing a media briefing in Colombo today, the Anticorruption Front expressed these views on corruption in the country and the controversial central bank bond transaction.
Day by day, new corrupt activities carried out by the government comes to light. The incidents and activities surrounding perpetual treasuries has been discussed for months. The media too has exposed details pertaining to this to some extent. Will there be an investigation regarding this? This has been a matter that has been presented to the political system, the Prime Minister, the President and the Cabinet of Ministers. We have to find out now as to how we can take this money that was scammed from the country back from this individual and give it to the public. There should be a broad public debate for this.
The Gammadda Savia program today took measures to provide clean drinking water to the people of Thelivatta in Badulla.
Gammadda Savia.
The people of Thelvatta in Badulla suffered for many years due to the lack of clean drinking water. Establishing their right to access clean drinking water, this drinking water project built at the Thelvatta Tamil College in Badulla was vested in the public by the Gammadda Savia program. This water project will also provide water to the Sri Murugan Devalaya in Thelvatta. The financial aid for this project was provided by the Managing Director of Digital Tech Engineering Private Limited, Tilina Hettiarachi. The public service to end the suffering of the people continues.
At the Savia.
And on to a story that made it to the headlines this evening. A decisive meeting on the Indo-Sri Lanka fishermen issue took place in New Delhi today with the participation of foreign ministers of both countries. At the meeting, a decision was reached to appoint a joint committee to resolve the fishermen issue.
Foreign Minister Mangala Samaravira, Minister of Fisheries Mahinda Amaravira, TNA MP M.A. Sumandaran and several others represented Sri Lanka at this meeting. Indian Foreign Minister Sushma Swaraj led the Indian delegation for the discussions. Illegal fishing by Indian fishermen in Sri Lankan waters, the release of Indian fishing equipment and vessels in Sri Lankan custody, as well as the issues surrounding the Kachativu islet were discussed at the meeting.
For the first time ever, the Indians have agreed to put a stop to bottom trawling. They said that they will take an immediate measure for that. That is something good. It was decided to have a ministry-level meeting and an official-level meeting to discuss the entire issue. The Indian Minister of Fisheries, accompanied by several others, will visit Sri Lanka on the 2nd of January. The Tamil Nadu State Minister of Fisheries has requested for the release of fishing vessels seized by us. We did not agree to that. They also requested to stop the arrests of their fishermen. We did not agree to that either.
A brawl that erupted in the Mipe area in Habaraduwa has injured 2 police officers, a Thero and 2 area residents.
The brawl had erupted after a 3-wheeler which was transporting material used for an event at the temple in the area collided with a motorbike. The chief incumbent of the temple, who also suffered injuries in the brawl, is currently receiving treatment at the Karapitiya Teaching Hospital.
When I arrived, the Thero came out to go to the hospital. The Thero had been assaulted on the head as well as the neck. The Thero had been kicked as well.
Newsfirst received amateur footage captured when area residents who were angered by the incident damaged the house of the people who carried out the initial assault. The person who is suspected to have carried out the initial assault and his mother, who were residing in the house, have been injured during the incident. Police officers from Ahangama Gaul, Habaraduwa and the Gaul harbour had been called in to control the situation. 2 officers who were injured have been admitted to the Habaraduwa District Hospital.
There are about 400 to 500 people attacking the house. We managed to get the people out of the house. That is when I got hit. There are 3 stitches in my mouth.
A suspect has been arrested in connection to the incident, while the Habradua police is carrying out investigations into the incident.
Adverse weather conditions have begun to have a severe impact on the lives of people around the country.
An earth embankment collapsed on a group of labourers at a construction site in Ambepura, Magastata, Nuwara. 6 labourers were buried alive. They were rescued and rushed to the Nuwara District Hospital. A spokesperson for the hospital said that one of them is in serious condition. Line houses in the Gonapitiya estate in Kandapola, Nuwara, are at risk of caving in due to the heavy rainfall. 45 persons from 11 houses have been evacuated to an old building in the Kandapola Tamil Mahavidyalaya.
Minister Sajid Premadasa presided over the event to present professional kits to the youth in the Mullaitivu district at the district secretariat today.
Professional kits for 1,571 youth under the Shilpa Savya program were presented at the event. Cement was also presented to 1,000 low-income families to renovate their homes.
මේ දිස්ත්‍රික්කයේ ගත්තහම පවුල් 16000කට වැඩි ප්‍රමාණයකට
Over 16,000 families in this district are facing a housing issue. It has been years since the end of the war, and yet we as a country have failed to solve the housing issue of the people. Next year marks 30 years for the World Housing Initiative. In line with this, in the name of my father, I will commence 10 Uda Gammana concept villages in the Mullaitivu district. This will be done for the families with no lands and no houses.
අපි දියත් කරනවායි කියන එක ඉතාමත්ම සතුටින් මම මේ අවස්ථාවේ ප්‍රකාශ කරනවා.
The annual convention of quantity surveys took place in Colombo under the auspices of Minister Dr. Sarath Amunugama yesterday.
Several dignitaries, including Minister Partli Champika Ranawaka, graced the event.
Quantity surveying, it is an area that we have to pay a lot of interest, because I was told that of the 1,300 graduates produced by our university, only 200 are available in Sri Lanka to attend to this work, because there is a very big demand for your work all over the world, but particularly in the Middle East. And they have all, I think most of them, been recognized as very competent professionals. We have a very good reputation in quantity surveying, but we also have a problem in the sense that there is a manpower requirement. So this is a problem that the government must address. It is addressing it in several ways, by increasing the number of students that are enrolled in the universities. We want your services, and there should be no chasm, no gap between the needs of the government and needs of all those professionals who are working for it.
Well, American football is back in Sri Lanka with the second consecutive triangular tournament between Colombo, Jaffna and Pakistan getting underway in Colombo yesterday.
The year's edition of the Triangular Series features the Colombo Lions, the Jaffna Bulls and the Peshawar Wolfpacks. The first match got underway yesterday at the Colombo racecourse between the Colombo Lions and the Peshawar Wolfpacks, with the home team emerging victorious 34-0.
That's a wrap up this edition of Weekend News. I'm Joel Outspoon. Take care. Good night.